Well, hello, Ben.
Hi, John.
Welcome to the XR Stories podcast.
This
Um,
is nice.
it's lovely, isn't it? Welcome to my room. I'm really excited to welcome you here today. Now, we're going to talk specifically about your project Block, but also we're going to talk about hopefully all things Megaverse,
Hmm.
and probably wider than that, the immersive scene in Sheffield, regionally in the UK. But first, let's get you acquainted with our listeners. So, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about Megaverse and I guess how and why Megaverse came to be in existence.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Hi. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ben from Megaverse. Um, so Megaverse is an interactive, immersive content studio. We kind of make work that combines lots of interactive and immersive technologies with storytelling to create these sort of platform native kind of experiences, where there's a real emphasis on user agency and interactivity and that kind of thing. And that is really broad and diverse, the kind of work that we make. I have my background and roots sort of in theatre, so and I think this is like a sort of general thing with XR. It seems to take people from lots of different disciplines, because it's like this new form that's emerging, and it's sort of borrowing and from lots of different places. But yeah, so we've worked on projects with in healthcare with distraction therapy, making augmented reality apps for patients with burns victims, to having virtual reality integrated into a live theatre show in London. It's basically anything that's kind of experimenting a bit with form and content to create these unique story experiences. That's sort of what we enjoy doing.
That sounds amazing, and really wide ranging. And so I'm going to attempt through our conversation here to try and kind of work out some of the wide rangingness of that because there are some really kind of really different interests that you've got. Are there anyone else in Megaverse you want to name check?
Yeah, sure. So I'm kind of one half of Megaverse, and the other director is John Ingle, he's not with us at the moment, but he's more. I mean, we met each other at university, and yeah, I did theatre. He did a graphic design course, which was very open ended, but we kind of we were both interested in technology and storytelling, and it was around the time that sort of the development kit 1 Oculus headset was coming out, so we were both wanting to play around with that, him more from a film perspective and me more from a theatre. And we sort of we went to go and see kind of like punch drunk immersive theatre stuff that was going on in London at the time, and it just felt like, oh, there's a real shift with, like, instead of passively watching something, the audience becoming active participants. And there was something quite exciting there, and that sort of led on this whole journey into the world of XR, I guess. Yeah.
Brilliant. So okay, so let's go into a specific project before we sort of
Mm.
dial back and look at some broader stuff around Megaverse. So your project Block, which
Mm.
XR Stories was involved in helping to fund, can you, yeah, so start off, tell us a little about what the idea was for what Block is and what it became. So yeah, where the idea came from and what kind of problem you were trying to solve, I guess, through the R&D.
I guess the idea for Block sort of came out of a need for a particular show that we've been developing. It it's the case with the theatre world and the tech world kind of colliding a bit, and we found we were making this production called Flood, which is still in development. It's going super well, and it was this need where we had the actors and the director in a rehearsal room that had these sort of creative ideas, but there being a bit of a disconnect between wanting to maybe visualize some of this stuff and then our 3D modeler not being able to almost keep up with the pace of these ideas that a theatre process is quite used to, where you have one idea but then you want to chuck another one in. And so we wanted to kind of create a tool that sort of bridged this gap that was a disconnect between the two work processes that run at different speeds.